so everyone is still playing, for their next opportunities also. So just excited to go to work with this team, go to work with the staff. The staff always knows too that, like, you just never know where our paths take us all in the future. And so we're trying to really enjoy these moments with each other. Obviously, for every game, doesn't matter if it's our last home game or first home game, execution of the scouting report, certainly is top of mind as we keep growing. Can we take our preparation and apply it and execute it? With a young team, then the in-game adjustments, and how are we out of timeouts? How are we when we have to adjust to changes within a game? Are always goals for us to improve on. Bigger picture for us, if you micromanage, all the way down to, I want us to play hard and compete. And it doesn't matter what our record is, where our standing is. We want to come out and compete. And how do we respond to adversity in a game is important. We did not have a good first half against Seattle. Super proud of how we came out of that locker room and competed and gave ourselves a chance with 2 shots under 30 seconds to go in that game, or under a minute to go in that game, to take the lead to potentially win. So all those things are really important as we continue to, fight and scratch a claw to the finish line here.
Coach, just 2 questions here. Just looking back, season, very tough season for you guys. Just where is the biggest growth that you've seen with the players, especially the young ones? And what are the biggest growth that you've seen from yourself? And, we haven't got any word yet, but if this is possibly Diana Taurasi's last game here in LA, just what has she meant to the game of the WNBA?
Yeah, our growth it's hard to quantify, because you can't, back it up necessarily with our win-loss record. And so, it's tough for everybody to see the growth. But first, I've loved that they've stayed together. They're still laughing and smiling and enjoying each other. That locker room is enjoying each other. We've extended multiple contracts on a team that's, struggling this year in the win column. So there's some culture things that have really grown, and you can see growing. Our young players continue to keep getting better. Rikia is the one that's really documented it, of the rookies, unfortunately, with Cam. But other first-year players that we've had have, really improved. And, I'm bullish when I think Dearica and what she's doing this year deserves to be most improved. It's hard sometimes to win awards, with where we're at in standings, but I think she deserves it. So just overall, I think we're improving, and it bodes well heading into the future. We need health. We need a few more pieces, but we're excited about where we're headed. And I'm not sure, teams in our situation through the years always are that optimistic. So excited about that. As for DT, I'll talk about it more in the post game, certainly, but certainly the GOAT of the level that she's playing at. I marvel that we think what we've talked about in our own locker room in game planning wise over the last 48 hours on a person in their 40s is crazy. Like she would be astounded on how much we've talked about what she does for them, where she does things for them, what we need to try to take away, how much you're still scheming for a player in their 40s, and knowing that she's coming off a 25-point game. She's still playing at a really, really high level. She's carried the torch through multiple decades, most decorated women's basketball, Olympic medalist also. So the accolades go on and on. So it's an unbelievable honor for us to be able to compete with her if this is her final road game.
Hey, Coach, with these being the last two games and given the standings, I know sometimes it can be easy to become lax as players. Have you seen that, and how are you keeping them locked in to really try to go out and get a win?
Yeah, I think, obviously, Seattle was not quite sure. We were a little flat in that first half, but we responded. And it wasn't coaches responding. They had to go out there and do that. So, there's moments. Obviously, it's, sometimes it can feel daunting with where we're at, and it's not as meaningful, but it's meaningful for us. That's what we keep talking about. There's a lot of meaningful moments. There's a lot of meaningful opportunities for everybody. A portion, a percentage of this team's gonna be back, and this a percentage of the team, as always, there's changes, and so everyone is still playing, for their next opportunities also. So, just excited to go to work with this team, go to work with the staff. The staff always knows too that, like, you just never know where our paths take us all in the future. And so we're trying to really enjoy these moments with each other.
Hey, Coach, VJ Infinity TV. Last time Cloud was here, she had a season high game. Is there a specific part of the game plan going into this game to focus on the guards?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Natasha's had a really good year, underrated year. Probably doesn't get enough recognition. I mean, it's what they ask her to do. She leads them and plays point guard and directs everything that way, and then is asked to be an elite defender. And with how their team's been made up and their own injuries that they've dealt with this year, is there's not a guard in the league that guards more post players. Not one. Like they specifically put her on 4 players, and you'll see it tonight at some stretches. She'll be guarding De'Erica, and has in every one of our games that we played. No one else at the point guard position in our league is asked to do that intentionally. People get switched on to people, but they intentionally ask, Cloud to guard post players. So it speaks to her versatility, what a warrior and competitor she is. In terms of our game plan, we're prepared. You can't give her the same look. She's too aggressive. She's too important to what they're doing without Kaw. That we're going to have to give her different looks throughout the game.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, just big picture, when you think about all that the WNBA has gained this year in terms of charters and viewership and national popularity, just what does it mean to you, having been around the league for so long, to be here, part of this moment?
Yeah, just special. 35 years in this game, and a big believer in women's basketball. Was impacted by my older sister, who was 9 years older than me. My coaching start, as is well documented. My AD and head boys coach in high school came to me my senior year as we were preparing for our regular season, said no one wanted to coach the 7th and 8th grade girls team in our community. You had to be a teacher, and no one wanted to do it. And they're like, Curt, you want to coach women, do it. And so to see, like that, I was coaching 7th and 8th graders who were 4 years younger than me or 3 years younger than me. That, and my start, I've always been a huge believer in our product. I mean, our product is great. I will tell you, our product in September is different than May, but our product, by the time September and October comes around in this league, is really, really special, and it's special basketball. And I've always said that once you get eyes on us, once you get people in the arenas, they're hooked. This year's been special because we've gotten more eyes on us. We've gotten more people into the arenas, and it just continues to explode. And we all know that, who have been involved in this game for a long time, how special it can be. But we needed a shakeup to have more eyes and more people in person. And now everyone's seeing what a special game this can be, what special players that we have. And what I hope is that we celebrate the history of our game and don't forget there's a lot of pioneers. There's a lot of really, really special players before just now. And a lot of people paved the way for this opportunity. And there's a lot of sweat, blood, and tears to, get to this point where the viewership is at where it is now. So really excited now, and that there's a hats off to our rookies that have really helped do that. So just a really special time in women's basketball. I don't take it for granted to be representing, this great league. I don't take for granted that I've been involved with USA Basketball since 2017. I've had a very, very blessed career, humbled career, and I just can't wait to see where it continues to go.
Sort of piggyback off of Sabrina, I want to ask about women's basketball here in LA. Obviously, like a couple years ago, someone with the organization was like, LA has forgotten about the Sparks because attendance was down. But this year, despite your record, you guys are, it's big crowds and enthusiastic crowds. Like, what does that mean to you? What does that mean? Where do you see the Sparks in sort of the pantheon of LA sports?
Yeah, I'm excited, and big shout out to our crowd. Not easy to be through this rebuild. Obviously struggled down the stretch of Derek's tenure, and like we've got to get back in the playoffs. But to see the crowds and where we are in the rankings of home crowds, but not only that, we're drawing on the road. We have players that people want to see when we go to their home venues too. So really excited, just credit to the Sparks that know we're in a build. Fan bases are never as patient, nor should they be, as we want as coaches. But I'm excited about what the attendance looked like this year and what it could be as we continue to build and be back in the playoffs and build back to a contender. And I will say that it's not going to just stop here tonight. I'm really excited about where LA basketball is because USC and UCLA are elite right now, elite. And I hope that there's a crossover, right? I hope that there's USC fans that become Sparks fans and Sparks fans become USC fans. And also the Bruins, Sparks fans that are Bruins fans that become Sparks fans. And it's a big, incredible place for women's basketball because our fan base needs to go support those two collegiate teams because they're elite. And that's not the only two teams, with LMU and Pepperdine, and, you go up into Orange County and there's a lot of good women's basketball in this area, and just excited for the future and it to continue to grow. And next year we'll have another California pro team. Thank you.
Thanks, Curt.